Hey there, race fans. It's race day top 5 with me, Frank 5. The NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season is officially underway, and my goodness gracious, 2 years in a row, this series puts together one of the most phenomenal racing and phenomenal, exciting finishes at Daytona Superspeedway. So much excitement, so much drama, so much to talk about. Let's get into it. Number 1, Ben Rhodes for Thor Sport Racing captures the first checkered flag for the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series season for 2021, winning the Nextera Energy 250 at Daytona over Jordan Anderson, Corey Roper, Ryan Truex, and Carson Hocevar. Ben Rhodes was up front all night long. I mean, he was just had a fast truck the entire night, coming off a season where he was able to make the playoffs with the win at Darlington. Was involved in some controversy in the year, pretty much dumping Christian Eckes, who, by the way, is now his part-time teammate at ThorSport. Ben Rhodes put on a clinic tonight, running up front all night long, not making any mistakes, had an incredible move at the end. He was running second off of turn 4 in the last lap and shot to the outside of Corey Roper's 04 truck to capture his first win at Daytona, his 4th career win, and that means Ben Rhodes is going into the playoffs. What a moment for him, and what a moment for ThorSport, because over the offseason, they switched from Ford back to Toyota, a manufacturer they hadn't run since 2017. So pretty big for ThorSport to start off the year being reunited with Toyota. And also Ben Rhodes is working with a brand new crew chief this time around. And I just got a feeling that this is going to be a big year for Ben Rhodes, obviously trying to put beside the drama he had with Eckes last year and move on to this year. So far, after a great start, and I got a feeling that this guy will win a couple more races this year. Who knows? When we go to Darlington later this year, a track we won at last year, he may end up winning again. Number 2, Cinderella stories. Jordan Anderson, for the 2nd year in a row, finishes 2nd at Daytona. On the white flag lap, that dude was 12th. He was 12 and had nowhere to go. And then he started making moves on the backstretch. He accidentally got into his brother-in-law, Austin Wayne's self. Knocked him into the grass, but he made passes at the very end and off of 4. He was running 5th and then passed some guys that were wrecking in front of him, and he jumped all the way up to 2nd. He was coming with the run after Ben Rhodes at the start-finish line. Unfortunately, so close, but his post-race interview after this race, just like last year, probably one of the best interviews we're going to see all Speed Weeks long. He's so full of energy. He's actually a former alumni at my school. He's just so full of energy. He's got a big year this year. He's obviously got his truck team, but he also announced his off-season, other than him getting engaged, that he's going to be running full-time in the NASCAR Xfinity Series this year, starting tomorrow at Daytona, in a car that he must qualify within the top 31, I believe, to get it in. He's going to run his truck team all season long. He's not going to drive, I don't think, the full season, maybe a couple races, or maybe this is just the one race he's doing this year. But Jordan Anderson had great run tonight. He ran the lead pack all night tonight. Stayed up there, made no mistakes, and was there at the right place at the right time at the very end. He did a great job. And Corey Roper, a team that's built from grassroots racing from Mount Bellevue, Texas, gets a 3rd place finish, his career best, surpassing his 9th place run in the 2019 race at his home track in Texas. A 3rd place run, unbelievable. This team had already announced at the beginning of this year that they are going to do the full season with sponsorship from Alliance Aviation, which was on his truck tonight, as well as CarQuest Auto Parts. Actually, I need to tell you folks something. I'm in my senior year, and I have an internship, and my internship is writing press statements for this team, Roper Racing. Yes, I'm writing statements and helping do some of their social media for this truck team that's going to run the full season this year, and they start their season with a 3rd place run. They were leading on the white flag lap after taking the lead going into turn 1, and I'm like, is Corey Roper going to win Daytona after announcing he's running the full season, and I'm writing statements for this team? And then Ben Rhodes got him off of 4 the last lap and got it, but still a great way to start the 2021 season for Roper Racing. And, you know, this team is a pretty good top 20 team, and hopefully they can have some really strong runs the rest of this year. This is going to be a fun year for this team to kick it off with a 3rd place run. Really happy for those guys. For a small team out of Texas and coming from grassroots racing, this is a great way to start the season. Number 3, there were a lot of big names running up front all night long. but they were involved in a lot of incidents at the very end of the race. A lot of guys, Johnny Sauter, Grant Enfinger, who's going to run part-time sharing the 98 with Christian Eckes this year. Matt Crafton was up there. John Nemechek's return to the Truck Series this year, driving for Kyle Busch Motorsports. Timothy Peters is back full-time at the trucks, driving for WAR Rackley Racing, a team that is new this year, going to run the full schedule, and made the show today. They had no order points coming in. They got it in on time. They ran up front all night long. A lot of other guys were up there. Of course, Ben Rhodes is up there. Chandler Smith, new to the KBM organization this year, is up there. Rafael Lessard, new to GMS. Chase Purdy, new to GMS, a rookie. Brett Moffitt with Nice Motorsports full-time this year, ran up front all night long. David Gilliland for his own team was up there. A lot of guys running up front all night long. Unfortunately, some of them got in some incidents late in the race. Johnny Sauter early on was not happy with Grant Enfinger because these guys didn't work together at the end of stage one, which cost him and let Lessard win stage one. And of course, Sauter didn't work with Rhodes at the very end of stage two, which allowed Nemechek to win stage two. There were so many comers and goers all night long, but some of them got involved in crashes. Todd Gilliland and Stuart Friesen were involved in a crash late in the going. And then the big one with about 6 to go, and Timothy Peters came down into Drew Dollar driving for the 51 truck for KBM, and that knocked out Austin Hill. Johnny Sauter, a lot of guys that just had great runs but just didn't have anything going. Matt Crafton, my favorite truck driver, pushed Ben Rhodes at the very end, and Rhodes gave credit to Crafton for helping him push to the front. So, Ben Rhodes, you're welcome. But Crafton, unfortunately, got caught in the crash coming to the checkered flag, but got a top 15 out of it. I mean, I think Crafton will still make the playoffs anyway, so he'll be just fine. Number 4, Hailie Deegan, one of the new up-and-coming stars in our sport, and one of the drivers we're going to be looking forward to watching this year in the Rookie of the Year battle and overall. She did a really good job tonight running on the bottom all night long, keeping out of harm's way, running a clean race, but late in the going with about less than 15 to go, she got loose coming off of 2, or maybe somebody hit her in the back because there's so much speedy dry in the backstretch from a previous incident, and she knocked the inside wall and unfortunately run into what was a pretty good run for her tonight. She was able to fix the truck and get back up there and finish 24th. I mean, this is a new type of stock car for her. She ran ARCA cars last year, and now she switched to trucks. This is going to be a learning curve for her, but I got a feeling that she'll get the hang of it as the season goes on. I mean, would I be shocked if Hailie Deegan were to make the playoffs this year? Yes and no. I mean, David Gilliland Racing, they are a good race team, but I mean, if they were to win a race and be a contender this year, watch out. Hailie Deegan I think, is one of the real deals in NASCAR, and she's going to be here for a long time. And number 5, I mean, goodness gracious, before we got a full green flag lap, and at the start of the race, we already had guys tangling. Hailie Deegan's teammate Tanner Gray, I think, lost a drive shaft coming to the green flag to start the race, and he collects guys like Derek Kraus, who was involved in 3 crashes tonight. Not a good night to be Derek Kraus. James Busher, a former truck champion, a Nice Motorsports entry, crashed in the back of him, as well as Gus Dean, taking them both out. They didn't even get a full lap in. So many wrecks tonight, and the speedy dry in the backstretch. There was a lot of speedy dry back there, and NASCAR should have done a better job cleaning that up. And the cautions were a little bit lengthy tonight, which, you know, there were 10 cautions tonight, which means it was a great race and a lot of action all around. But I mean, 10 cautions, but I mean, a lot of time to clean those incidents up. Gotta work on that a little bit, but still, you know, they're doing this for the safety of the drivers, which everybody needs to understand. We're doing this because we love the sport, but we want the drivers to not only have a great time, but be safe. That's one of the priorities that we have, safety involved in NASCAR these days. But what a phenomenal way to start the 2021 Camping World Truck Series season. And yes, you heard me right. Camping World is now officially the sponsor of the Truck Series again. The last couple of years, it was Gander RV Outdoors, which was still in association with Camping World, which started in about 2019, I believe. But this offseason, Marcus Lemonis announced that the Camping World Truck Series would be getting their name back for the first time since 2018. And honestly, it kind of feels good going back to Camping World Truck Series. I didn't mind getting to RV Outdoors as the sponsor. It was just a little bit too long. Probably like most people said, Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series was long the last couple of years, which I totally understand. And it was a little long, but going back to Camping World Truck Series as the title sponsor just feels right. It just feels like we've reunited with a long lost friend. So this is pretty. It was a great race tonight. Phenomenal coverage. Vince Welch, Michael Waltrip, Jamie McMurray in the race booth tonight. They did a phenomenal job calling the race. Regan Smith and Jamie Howe on pit road. And it was just great to see the Truck Series. It was good to see some fans there. There were some fans in the race for tonight. There's going to be fans tomorrow, and of course 35,000 on Sunday because of COVID stuff. But there was looking at the crowd there tonight, it made not look like a lot like you normally see in the past, but from my perspective, it looked like quite a few, and I'm sure they got their money's worth to what was a great race tonight. So with that being said, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series opener is officially in the books. They'll go to the road course next week with the other two series. Tomorrow is the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The Beef, that's what's for dinner 300, or it's what's for dinner 300. I gotta get the name right. They're going to be racing tomorrow at 5 o'clock, and then Sunday, the 63rd running of the Great American Race, the Daytona 500. Who will shine tomorrow night in the Xfinity Series opener? Will Austin Cindric, our defending Xfinity champ, shine again and win at Daytona? Will Noah Gragson go back-to-back and have a wild celebration? Or will Justin Allgaier finally punch his ticket to Victory Circle at NASCAR's most famous superspeedway in Daytona? We shall see. Tune in tomorrow, and hopefully Jordan Anderson fans after a great run tonight, he can time his way in tomorrow in qualifying to make the show. Oh, and by the way, AJ Allmendinger's running full-time in Xfinity Series. Woo! That's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow's going to be a great race, and tonight was a great way to start the season. So subscribe, like. Congrats to Ben Rhodes on winning the Nextera Energy 250 Daytona. Congrats to Jordan Anderson and Corey Roper on top fives. Just what a great race to start the 2021 season, folks. This is going to be a blast. See ya.